Hey guys, how's it going? Wizard101 Guides here. I'm here with my sister. Go ahead and say hi.
Hey.
Yeah, so she's over in her room on her computer, but this is the really good series that we really like called School Wars. Now, the first time we did it, it was level 50 Fire versus level 50 Ice. In that battle, level 50 Fire came out on top. However, I felt like that one was a little bit debatable. So this one is going to be a very good battle because it's in high demand, and that's why I'm really excited about it, because this one is officially a level 50 Storm versus a level 50 Myth. So I think they're actually just under level 50. They might be like 48 or 49, but either way, that's still fine. So we're going to go ahead and go through the pros and cons of each school and get started with it. So the way the School Wars works is that the two schools, level 50 Storm and level 50 Myth, will be going at it with each other in a PvP 1v1, and they can only use their school's spells up to level 50, and the only exception is the fairy spell. So they can heal with just that card. Other than that, it's only their school spells up to level 50, so that's the best way to make it fair. That's the only way to compare if a level 50 Storm could be a level 50 Myth or vice versa. So let's go ahead and show it off right here. So as you can see, they have Bloodbat, Troll, Myth Trap, Cyclops, and all that crap. So the most important one, obviously, on this list is probably these two, Minotaur and Earthquake. Now, reason being is because Earthquake is a huge benefit and factor in PvP, as well as Minotaur. So I'll go ahead and say the pros and cons for Myth School, and my sister will go ahead and do it for Storm. So let's go ahead and start with Myth. I feel like some of the most important pros on Myth is the fact that they have minions, they have relatively good resistance, they have average health, and they have average accuracy. But their best benefits are 2-hit spells like Minotaur. Say she has a Myth shield up, the Storm Girl, and you hit with the first hit, that takes away the shield, and then you get a solid hit on there, assuming you have a blade on and everything. So that, with minions and average health and resistance and accuracy, is a big benefactor in the outcome of the battle. So we'll go ahead and give it away to my sister for Storm.
Okay, so obviously Storm has the most powerful attack cards, but on the other hand, they have the least amount of health, so that is kind of a con. And they do not have any attacks that can hit twice, like the Minotaur, which would be good if the other person had shields, but since you can't actually use that type of shield if you're only using your school, it wouldn't matter anyway.
I'll chip in here for a minute and just say that Storm, most of you might just think right off the bat that, hey, Storm would win because they do more damage. Well, if you know how to use strategy, Myth could easily take over, because of the fact that, say you wait for the Storm person to stack up all these blades, they're getting ready to do a huge hit. For in their case would probably be Stormzilla, because that would be their best spell for that point, unless you're counting the level 48 spell. But say they're stacking up for a Stormzilla to do massive damage with like 3 or 4 blades on, that could easily wipe out someone. But say they Earthquake right before that happens, well, you just took away all their blades and damaged them, so their next hit's going to be relatively weak. And say you also have a minion, your minion's also hitting them, and it's really just going to keep chipping away.
And also Storm has only 70% accuracy, and Myth has about 80 or 85.
Okay, now we'll go ahead and jump back to Myth and talk about the cons. So some of the cons that Myth is going to have is obviously low damage. Low damage is going to be one of the biggest factors here. As you can see, their level 42 spell, Earthquake, is going to do 310 damage to all enemies. But if it's a 1v1 PvP, all enemies isn't going to be that much of a big deal. So it's 310 damage, and you compare that to the level 42 spell, which is going to average around 700 damage from the Storm School. So that's going to be, literally double the damage. So, and I don't know, it seems like it's going to be a pretty hard one to pull off because of the low damage, but they do have enough resistance to kind of balance things out, and their accuracy is definitely going to help out. So one of the things about Storm School, is just another pro to throw in there, is that Storm School actually has better clothing, I would say, at this level. They have a lot of damage that they can add on to it, and they can actually get their pit percentage up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So now go ahead and tell me about some of the cons that Storm's going to have out here.
Okay, so they have the least amount of health, least accuracy, and for the most part, they only have offensive spells and little to none defensive spells. So, Triton looks like it'll be the best spell for that, which you get at level 38. It'll do 795 to 875 damage, which a level 50 myth would probably have around 2,500 health, assuming that they're both privates in rank and they have non-PvP gear. So it could, if you had enough blades on them, it could take them out easily, but again, the myth can use Earthquake and get all the blades off right before hitting, so you just gotta use your strategy right.
Yeah, so that just about sums it up for these two schools. So right now what I need you guys to do is every single one of you watching this video, if you feel confident, go ahead and comment which school you think would win in this 1v1 battle. And I think for this battle, it's actually going to be my sister and I facing off each other. I'm going to be Miss School and she's going to be Storm. I think we're both going to be about like level 49. Maybe we'll get to 50 for the video. 48 maybe, yeah. So either way, it's going to be right around that little spot, and we're going to beef it out, and we want to know who you guys think will win. So as usual, for each School Wars, we would pick one winner who got it right, and you have to be really descriptive to tell us why that person would win that you picked. Say you pick Miss School, well, tell me why Miss School would win. And the most descriptive person and the person who got it right is going to get a prize from us at the end of the little episode. So one last thing I wanted to tell you guys, this is a little bit this is a little bit of a bonus for this video, is that in the future, if you guys want to, you could actually join us in a Skype call and we can all talk about this inside of one big call, and I'd like to hear some advice from you guys and some pointers from you guys inside of these calls. So go ahead and give this one a big thumbs up, and we'll see you next time, and preferably